another edition of In the Situation Room with Alexis Kubicki
Derek Kubicki.
and Derek Kubicki. Today, this will serve as our final episode of our mini-series explaining professional boxing to the people who do follow boxing and to the general sporting fan. So, Alexis, how are you?
I'm doing great like always, and how are you?
Very good, thank you. So, we had a little bit of a break, but you had your fight, and
Yes.
we had some family things to take care of. So that's why we had a little bit of a break. But we are getting right back to it today. Now, in our last episode, our figure of the professional fighter got to the point that he or she, they were having the first professional fight. So maybe as a fighter who did have a first professional fight, just walk us through how you felt that day, the little bit of a lead up. Just tell us, yeah.
Well, going into the fight, of course, there's that stress, but there's more than just a little bit of stress. You always say as a fighter, oh, you don't have stress, you don't have stress. You do, everyone does.
I think that fighters, when they say, well, I'm not stressing out, I think they're lying.
Oh, yes.
Of course, because they're tough. They don't want to send the image that they're weak, right? So, of course, they're not nervous. They are.
And they're going into the first fight. You want to perform your best because it's your first pro fight.
That's right.
And you want to show everyone your skills and what you got, that you belong in this ring and that you came from an amateur to a pro. And
yeah, this is this sort of taking the next step, crossing over the bridge. And there is between the first pro fight and leaving the amateur scene behind, there isn't that much of a difference because usually will be a 4-rounder fight,
yes,
right?
The biggest difference is the no headgear.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say.
That's the
because
biggest
the
thing.
length of the fight is just a one extra round, right? So it's not that big of a deal. But the idea of, although for men, there is no issue of a no headgear because.
So for men, it's the smaller gloves. Depends on your weight gloves now.
That's right. Yeah. But just to explain quickly, it has been changing over the years. As it stands today, the seniors in amateur boxing do fight without the headgear.
Yes.
Okay. So really, the only difference will be, depending on the weight class, will be the size of the gloves, which in amateur, the gloves are pillows. They're pillows, right? And the way they are made and so forth. So, however, in the pros, so that would be the major difference, where there are, depending on your weight, there's 8 ounce, 10 ounce, and that's that, right?
Correct.
Where in amateurs it's only
10 and 12 ounce.
10 and 12 ounce, right? So, and of course, different way the glove is structured and so on and so forth. So the fight goes off, you won.
And we're happy, and then we move on to the next.
And then the work continues, folks. And so this, I hope this mini-series have illustrated and brought the sport of professional boxing closer to you, make you understand as to what is involved, what it takes to be a fighter, how difficult the road is, and how many factors have to come together in order to make a one fight. Now think about it, about the fact of doing this over and over again to start a career. Because
usually you think it would get easier, but really
it doesn't.
It gets harder.
It gets harder, and let's say not to prolong the series any further, but so you won your first fight, you won your second, third, and fourth. So now what happens is
your rankings.
Your rankings, you starting to show up in the rankings. People start to take a notice of you a little bit. Next thing, you're looking for an opponent, and the opponents say,
yes, no, how much do you want to pay me?
They say, they show me the money.
Yes.
Because now you are looking for a more credible opponents with a better record and stronger opponents that, as as you go along and you build yourself your presence in a rankings of a professional boxing.
And they don't want to lose.
And of course, so now they look at you and saying, okay, well, this guy is a little bit dangerous. If I'm gonna take a risk, I better get paid.
Yeah.
More than what I would have.
Yes.
Get paid fighting the same guy 3, 4, or 5 fights before,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you may think winning is great. Yes, it is, but
you have to reach into your pocket.
That's right. So, and of course, just like anything else in world of sports, whether it's hockey, baseball, basketball, that's where sponsors come in. This is where TV stations come in. On the end of the day, whether it's a TV station or a single sponsor
Mm-hmm.
or number of sponsors forking out the bill, paying and supporting the athlete one way or the other at the highest level, or on the way to the highest level, without corporate sponsorship, being a professional athlete, not a boxer but professional athlete, it is impossible. Because whether whether you're watching the Edmonton Oilers or New York Rangers, it's all supported by the sponsors, directly or indirectly.
But you look at those sports as well, and the teams, they lose a huge sponsor, they're already going downhill, because how are they going to back up their players?
Well,
right?
to pay those tremendous
shows.
salaries, there's always what I call a rat race to attract the big money sponsors, high caliber, that bring pay few million dollars in a course of a season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, of course, the other new thing that we see in a world of professional sports is the betting apps.
Yes. That's a huge impact.
That's right. Over the last few years, we have seen the betting houses being able to partake in
Mm-hmm.
the world of professional sports. It is completely legalized, so they bring a lot to the sport. So now, just going back, not to go too far off from our topic. So now, how do you follow as a fan? How do you follow the career and the rankings of your fighter? How?
So you go on Google and you search up BoxRec.
Okay.
So
you will put a link for that,
yes,
right?
I'll put a link for that. So you go on BoxRec and you can search up any fighter or shows that are happening or that happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the results, see the rankings of the fighters and the different weight classes. So there's lots of information about that fighter.
I think there's all the information.
Yes.
Everything is broken down into the male, female categories, and of course by weight classes. And so you can search the favorite athlete you follow.
Yes.
You can follow their potential opponent.
Yep.
You can see
who they fought,
and
who
see,
they're going to fight.
That's right. So what it means, fans, is that you can make yourself understand, because there's so many fighters around the world, it's very difficult to remember who they fought, when they fought by name, but you can do that, and you know exactly how their career went. So if you're following your favorite athlete and he has or she has a fight coming up, you look at the opponent, and all the fights are listed on a BoxRec before they happen, so you can see what is the level of the opposition your favorite boxer is facing, and how's their road to this fight. So very interesting, many details. BoxRec.com. If you go on Google, you can find it. Alexis will put a link right here. So that's how to follow. Now, this is something I wanted to talk about, and I was debating whether we should do a separate part of our, or should we include in this mini series, and I figured we should. How do we watch boxing fights? Because now you and I come from a different generations of watching TV. The TV, as I know it, for most part, does not exist. When I was, and I mean, this just happened maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago when it started to happen. Now completely it had changed. You went to you look for a sports station, and that's where all your sports were, all your events, hockey, basketball, boxing, it was all there.
Well, now it's everywhere.
now it's everywhere. So when you go to a sports station, TSN, Sportsnet, whatever that may be, they may show some baseball, but they only show certain games. They may not even show Need to take that?
No, let's let it ring.
All right. They may not even show all the games for this particular team. They may only show a packet of 5 games.
Yeah.
And then, of course, another 5 games may be shown on a different station. And a different station. So, being a sports fan, it requires you as the fans really doing your homework and finding out as to where you can watch a certain sporting events. But going to boxing, usually the athletes, the fighters themselves, inform which
because it's very
platforms.
Yes, because it's
that's
not,
where you take over.
Exactly, it's not so easy because sometimes they say it's gonna be on TV or that they have a live stream or it's on pay-per-view.
Live streams, pay-per-views,
there's like
TV,
yes, it's like
applications.
Yes, so like usually it comes to the last minute then we actually know what it's on, unless it's, for example, a bigger promotion.
Right.
And of course it's going to be on TV like on DAZN.
Right. Now DAZN is a worldwide streaming platform that focuses purely on sports. Yeah. DAZN, DAZN, and it's really big in Europe. It's making its way to North America, but the popularity of that station in North America, it is not nearly as big as it is in Europe. It originated from England, but many different sports are on that platform. Champions League, you name it, all that stuff is on it.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, I just heard the CFL will be showing on. Canadian Football League will be also.
That's a huge one, right?
They just
That's a huge one.
They just signed a deal with DAZN. So DAZN for boxing fans, it is known as the global sports of boxing. But that's big players. Otherwise, there's different streaming platforms that fights are taking place on. So the best way, if you do want to stay in touch and not to worry about it, contact the fighter that you are a fan of and ask them for which streaming platform.
Or even sometimes like when you see your favorite fighter on a poster, it sometimes shows at the bottom where it's going to be. So
That's
you
right.
can always look at that. If the fighter doesn't reply to you, you can always find another way just like that.
That's right. But whatever you do not leave it till the last minute, because I find myself that in today's world, navigating through the, can we still call it TV? I guess because the name TV really it came from the actual unit, it's from the TV, but the mainstream media it still exists, but this is very much watered down.
Yeah.
So as fans, it's pretty much left up to you to do your research, find out what you have and what you don't have on your little box. What is it that you have subscribed or not?
Exactly.
And so just because you have a certain station doesn't mean that
it will show.
It will show there. If you don't know, then you may miss it. But that's the world we live in today, and it makes it a little bit more difficult, especially for the older generation.
Way more difficult.
Way more difficult because it's not as easy as turning on the TV
and just saying I want this channel and that's it.
That's right. So. Well, not even saying that on this channel, it's just going to that channel.
Yes.
And which and there was no doubt that whatever you wanted to see is there. But I guess, Alexis, do you have anything to add in closing of this mini series about professional boxing? Because after this, we're gonna tackle a whole bunch of different topics.
Yes, for sure.
Who's trying to get a hold of us? Who is there to interrupt our broadcast? Let me see. It couldn't be Mom, could it?
Maybe.
Oh, we don't get many phone calls from other people. So, anyhow.
No, I just want to say thank you for watching this series. It was a pleasure doing it with you, Dad.
Absolutely.
So,
pleasure is all mine.
To introduce you guys into the boxing world, now you understand it. Now we can go forward and get really into details, more into like the gossip kind of group, like Gossip Girls.
Of course.
So thank you once again. Do you have anything you would like to finish off with?
No, I think we covered all of it. If there is any questions regarding the topic that we have covered in this mini series, please put it into the comments, and we will reply. We hope to gather enough questions that we can dedicate the next episode of the In the Situation Room towards answering the questions that you as the viewers may have, and that will take us to our next topic. And of course, In order for you to find out what it is, you're just simply gonna have to tune in, and subscribe. Of course, that's very important because some people are watching but not subscribing, and of course we want to. Yeah, we want to. This way, you get a notification when a new episode comes in, and you can plan it around your dinner at home or whatever else, or breakfast, whatever you decide to do. That's it for today, Alexis. It was a pleasure to be in a studio with you today.
Thank you very
much. Thank you. Until the next time, I am the subscriber and she
is the fighter.
Thank you.
Thank you.